What's up, everybody? This is Battlefield Joe 97 here. It's been a while since I've been on camera in this channel, and there's a very good reason for that, which I'm going to address right here, right now, to get this video over with. And that was because of my old phone that I mainly use to record FaceTime for these videos is the iPhone 4S. This one got wrecked like a motherfucker, at least compared to my original iPhone 4S during when I used to, go to high school and stuff like that. This is the AT&T certified replacement one that I got during 2014 or so, and then it kind of broke off when I graduated from high school. And I really needed a new phone that runs better, is faster, and thankfully this new iPhone 5S, this one right here, that I'm using to record right now is very great as all hell. I never thought anything could go much faster than, let's say, 5 seconds or 10 or 15 seconds to get into Facebook. Here it's like 2 seconds you're in, and it was really goddamn nice as all hell. So it was really going to be great to record FaceTime videos, for me to you, to talk about these kinds of games that I really want to talk about. And then, of course, is the gaming pickup videos. Now, I didn't do any of the summer ones because, like I said before, the iPhone of mine broke out, so I couldn't do any. And even though I got this a day before I went to New York Comic Con, which I will be talking about a few days or so in the September and October gaming pickup videos, and combining them together to get things quick as possible. Yeah, I really lost myself at a distraction right here. I really want to get this over with, and I'm streamlining the whole gaming pickup video approach to it. I'm mainly going to be talking about the games that I put hours into in order to have an impression of, because when I remember doing these kinds of gaming impression videos, I mostly rambled on. It's like, oh, well, I got this game, such and such, but I didn't put much hours into it, so I really don't have a full, solid opinion on, or yada, 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 I got this, but I couldn't download it on PS3 or 360 because hard drive is full, yada, yada, yada. So, from now on, the full things that I got from the summer of June to August will be in the description below in this video. Everything else that I'm going to be talking about in this video will be the games that I put the most hours into. So if you want to know fully what I got in the summertime, the description below, but you want my impressions on some of the things from the summertime, it's going to be in this video. So yeah, let's get this over with. Let's go for the PlayStation 4. This is like in the games for gold. Games for gold. That's like in an Xbox. Jesus Christ. For PlayStation Plus, and that of course is Limbo. Now Limbo I put hours into on the PC version, and it's a unique atmospheric kind of platformer. Not really my kind of platformer. I'm mostly into the ones that I want to go really fast or test my platforming skills, like with Mario or at least Sonic. But it's the kind of game that really has a place in history for games, and it's a very nice addition on the PlayStation 4 library of indie games that Sony pays tons of money and not AAAs for PlayStation Plus nowadays, which kind of sucks. And yeah, Limbo is a fun, atmospheric platformer, and if you have not tried it yet and you're a PlayStation 4 owner, definitely do so. Anybody else on PC or any other console, or at least on the Vita if I remember it is, then yeah, it's definitely a very good atmospheric platformer. And Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes. Now, I think I might have already talked about Ground Zeroes in the past before, and Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes is the prologue to Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain, and yeah, Ground Zeroes is really a short game. It only has one main mission to talk about, with other side ops along the way, especially, and just the phone right here, and other side ops to basically get your money's worth. And especially for me, who basically paid for like, I think $10 or $11 when it was on sale for the Xbox 360, I can definitely say it's worth it in that price range alone. And especially when it came for free with PlayStation Plus, Ground Zeroes was definitely worth the thing. Now, for the integration that it did for, like, let's say the Phantom Pain, which I will definitely make a review on sometime in the future. It was short, it's not really big as all hell, and yeah, Ground Zeroes, it plays well, it has tight controls, it definitely has a nice graphics, even though it kind of looks downgraded, especially from playing a lot of hours in the Phantom Pain, at least at my end. But if you can find Ground Zeroes really cheap, like in a physical copy for Xbox 360, the PlayStation 3, the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, or digital on Steam and PC, Ground Zeroes is definitely worth the money when it's cheap as all hell, not when it was like $40 with the last or current gen versions of them. So yeah, Ground Zeroes definitely worth it, especially now, whereas the price has really gone down thanks to the Phantom Page release. And now for Rocket League on the PlayStation 4. This is definitely a very interesting game, to say the least. I never thought of actually having like RC cars in a soccer field and playing soccer. Was really an intriguing concept, and I really got to give the developers for that. It's really fun as all hell. Definitely play good with friends. Rocket League, what more can I say? It's a fun arcade kind of feel, having RC cars and soccer instead of like regular humans. Definitely a great concept, and it definitely showed off. And I really would like to get the Back to the Future DLC, but you know, my money is still destroyed after New York Comic Con, so that's at least something. So the next game will be Styx, Master of Shadows. Now, this is a stealth game inspired by, I believe, a strategy or an RTS game. I don't know, I can't remember for certain what the name is, but definitely Styx, Master of Shadows is really one of those underrated stealth games that definitely will be in my top games of this year, even though there are bugs and glitches up the wazoo, just like any other game. I believe the whole idea and the concept of you being like this orc or ogre kind of character, getting through the shadows, and once you're detected, I need water in my systems. Oh, once you're detected from enemies, you're basically dead as all hell. You don't have any, you don't have anything to protect yourself, and the whole combat system of countering enemy attacks really doesn't. It's not really intuitive as all hell. So it really is a good idea to stick to the shadows and kill your enemies, or at least bypass them to get into your objective. So yeah, Styx, Master of Shadows, a very good stealth game that definitely is worth it on PC and PlayStation 4. I don't know if Xbox One or the last gen consoles have them, but Styx, Master of Shadows is definitely very good as all hell. And now another game that was supposed to be released, I believe, on May or so, was Woah Dave. This arcade-inspired Joust/Super Mario Brothers kind of game really has this objective of you being this character named Dave, and you have to throw like exploding eggs, I believe, in aliens or so. And it really gets hard as all hell when you progress through the levels. And I also got this on the 3DS as well, so if you really want a short arcade kind of experience, Woah Dave is definitely for you on PlayStation 4, Elite PC, and on the 3DS. I don't know if it's on other consoles as well, just to put that out there. Just put it out there. And another would be Driveclub. Now, this is the exclusive on PlayStation 4 that not many people, at least I know of, talk about. And many people, at least, were excited to play the free version than the full game that was released months ago, than the PlayStation Plus edition. And the PlayStation Plus edition is okay. I'm not really much of a fan of real life sim driving games. I'm more of the arcade kind of guy with Mario Kart and stuff like that. But Driveclub, it really looks damn impressive on the PlayStation 4, except for the human stands. They really look last gen as fuck, to be quite honest here. And I wouldn't pay the full version for Driveclub as well. I already got my fix for the Plus edition, and yeah, I'm not really much of a guy going to drive sims and stuff like that. And also, to get away from the next segment, I actually pre-ordered, I don't have to pre-order from GameStop. I actually pre-ordered the PS4 version of Shovel Knight, which was originally supposed to release this month in October, but Yacht Club Games delayed the game, or delayed the retail release to November, and they increased the price from $20 to $25, which would be a pain in the ass to convince my GameStop to keep the original price that I paid for, along with taxes in New York, to go from. But who knows, when the November Game Big video, I'll talk about Shovel Knight on PS4. So yeah, that's it for the PlayStation 4 side of things. Now for PlayStation 3, and they'll be for Cold Juarez, the Gunslinger. Now I did play the second Cold Wars game in the series. I kind of forgot the name of it, and I had a bit of fun with the title, but it wasn't something that I wouldn't play much hours into. But Gunslingers, on the other hand, I did. It's a fun arcade-style, West kind of inspired game, where you basically, you're this guy who talks about stories of his journey from the West, and you basically gunsling a bunch of people, and it has this really nice bullet time feature, where you can basically shoot enemies all you want, like in the crouch, the body, or at least in the head, and it gives you extra points to go by. It's really fun as all hell when you go into the scoring and trophies and stuff like that. Call of War's Gunslinger, I believe, is on PlayStation 3, the Xbox 360, and on PC, and it's definitely worth getting when it is in a price drop, or at least in full price. It's really goddamn fun as hell. And another game that I got on the PlayStation 3 was Cloudberry Kingdom. Now, Cloudberry Kingdom is this random generating platformer that really the whole stick out of it is you going through a bunch of platforms, and the more and more you progress through the stages, the more and more they get harder, and when you die, you basically have to repeat the whole thing over and over and over again. And it can get repetitive as all hell, and really, if I wouldn't pay full price for it after getting it for free on PlayStation Plus. But if you're the kind of guy who likes platformers and random generating kind of games, Cloudberry Kingdom may be for you. It's on PlayStation 3, the Xbox 360, and on Steam. And also on the Wii U as well. So yeah, if you're the kind of guy who likes platformers and random generating kind of games, then Cloudberry Kingdom is for you. Now, the other game I got in PlayStation Plus was Rain. Rain kind of reminds me of Uta's Ico game, or Ico if you want to pronounce that, where it's kind of got this atmosphere to it, this atmospheric adventure game, where you have to go through objectives and try to find this girl, just like in Ico, and you have to like evade yourself from water beasts and stuff like that, and it really is creative the way you try to go through it. Definitely get it on PlayStation 3, I believe. Maybe it's on PS4 and Vita, but Rain is definitely worth the money to go buy. And another game, which I got not from PlayStation Plus, but from a used section in GameStop, was a game that I actually had somewhat fond memories in the early PlayStation 3 days, and that, of course, is Untold Legends: The Dark Kingdom. Basically, it's this action RPG, Marvel from the Alliance kind of game, where you basically have to, like, go through a bunch of hordes in this kind of environments, in the cave, the open landscape, stuff like that. You basically have like options of like this hammer guy, a swordsman, or I believe a sorcerer or something like that. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head because this game is kind of forgettable in a sense. I only remembered it because of the cover of this chick going Woah! And some of the memories that I had out of it playing on the PlayStation 3. But overall, even though I paid for like what, $3 or $4 of it on GameStop in the used section, Untold Legends: The Dark Kingdom, it was really not worth it. It's kind of forgettable, and even with the customization that you have for each of your characters, you still do the same thing over and over again. You go into areas where enemies, you kill them such and such. And there is this one section where I literally was stuck for hours on end. It was in the cave, and unless you're like the sorcerer or some other class than what I picked, I kind of trying to remember what it is. You're basically going to be stuck there unless you're really goddamn lucky how I was able to go through it. I just stopped because it was literally the same thing over and over again. You're in an area with a bunch of enemies, you kill them, and do the same thing over and over again with a story that really is not interesting as all hell. So yeah, even though if you like this kind of thing with action RPGs and you can find it good on GameStop for $3 or so, then it's definitely worth the money. And even though I bought this out of nostalgia, playing it on the PlayStation 3, it definitely isn't worth the money, to say the least. So yeah, that's it for the PlayStation 3 section. Time for the Xbox 360, and I definitely bought a lot more retail Xbox games than I did on the PlayStation. And that, of course, was a nice little thing that I found for $5 with a nice story to go along with it. And that, of course, is Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. Now, I picked this up for $5, and I was supposed to get a used copy of this game, but this is like one of those stories from GameStop when I was in New York. And when I was in New York, I'm in New York. Jesus Christ, I need water on me. Ooh, to say the least. So yeah, it was during this Nintendo event that I was doing in New York, Rockefeller Center, And, you know, it was, I think, closing time during the GameStop close to there. And I was looking through the game section because I had a few money on me and said, you know what, let me get a game off the used section and stuff like that. And I found a Metal Gear Rising Revengeance for $5 on the Xbox 360. The PlayStation 3 was around $15 or so used, which I'm kind of puzzled as to why the PlayStation version was $15 while the Xbox was $5. I don't know about that. So it was a closing time. I was the only customer in the store, and I think it was like two newbies or like two new employees who was in that GameStop. And you know, since I was a nice guy, I was waiting to all hell. They thought that, you know what, let's just give him a brand new copy, or at least one that was reprinted, because in the back it says disc made in Mexico right over here. So it's not really a new copy from back in the day. It's like a new reprinted one. But there's no scratches in here whatsoever. Still no scratches to it. It's definitely, you know, waiting as all hell, getting a new copy instead of a used one. And the same price, I'll tell you, for $5 was definitely a steal to go buy. So yeah, aside from my story, let me talk about the game itself. So basically, Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, of course, is a typical Platinum Games kind of game. There's an action. You really need to rely on combos. You need to rely on the parry system. Basically, you can't just mash the buttons over and over again. You really need to know how to maneuver, dodge with the parry system. It really gets hard as all hell. Even in normal difficulties, I really had a problem with certain boss fights when I first played through the game. I have to make a note there. And yeah, the story isn't the strongest point. Platinum Game stories aren't really much of a isn't really much of a strong point when it comes to Platinum Games games from Platinum. But for the most part, Metal Gear Rising Revengeance is definitely a fantastic action game that's definitely worth in your collection. It's on the PlayStation 3, the Xbox 360, and is on PC, which you can definitely find a nice deal of it on Steam. And for the most part, it's definitely a fun game for Raiden. Even though I kind of find the game redundant, it kind of destroys Raiden's character development from Metal Gear Solid 2 to Metal Gear Solid 4, Guns of the Patriots. But overall, as an action game, from its gameplay standpoint, it's a fun game. For story in a Metal Gear game, it's kind of worthless. But hey, it's a game from Platinum, so you can't really fault for it in the story department. Gameplay-wise, it's good as all hell. So yeah, get this goddamn game. It's fantastic as all hell. I will definitely say that. And yeah, another games I got from the used section, of course, was Kingdom Lynch 2 Dog Days. All I gotta say here is that it's one of those games that one of those rare games that I actually had a headache playing during nighttime. Like literally the whole game's shtick of having this kind of gritty like crime drama storyline of two guys going through Shanghai and stuff like that, trying to go through hell, Steve, and you know what? I can't even. I kind of forgot what the fuck the story was going out of. Like there was this one guy, I think Kane, was trying to fight a dude named Lynch, meeting for some kind of deal. Then the deal kind of breaks up, and they just go whatever the fuck they go. I don't know. The story is forgettable, and it really is cringeworthy as all hell. But the aesthetics of the camcorder is nice at first. It kind of has this gritty feel to it in the gameplay department, but the presentation just really just aches my. It gave me a headache when playing through this game, and it's very rare that a game would actually do so in my end. And the third-person cover-based shooting has been done before and done better. This game is kind of average in the gameplay department, and yeah, if I were to sum it all up for Kingdom Lynch 2 Dog Days, it's like a 5th generation Xbox game through the aesthetics of the camcorder, with the most basic third-person cover-based shooter. Yeah, it's basically what it is. Even though I paid for like, what was it, $2 or $3 plus taxes for a used copy of this game, I definitely regret paying for it. Especially the GameStop employee gave me a red fucking copy. Like someone like may even have put like their teeth out of the cover of it, and also in here as well. But yeah, $3 to $2 plus tax for this thing, definitely not worth it. So yeah, something like that. And the last game that I got through retail on the Xbox 360, of course, was Dead or Alive 4. I played a bit of Dead or Alive 3 back in the day in the original Xbox, and while it was hard, I got the gist of it for like maybe like 5 or 10 times, losing in the campaign. Here, even though I put like 5 hours or so out of 1 to 2 characters in the campaign, I still could not get through the campaign. The AI is so ridiculously cheap as all fuck. Even though I put tons of hours into training and try to know the basis of my 2 characters and trying to forget, trying to remember what the characters' names were. It really is difficult as all hell, but in multiplayer matches, it's really fun as all hell. So yeah, if you're someone who's not used to Dead or Alive, the Dead or Alive franchise, don't get this game for its single player. Don't. For multiplayer, it's fun as all hell. I can definitely say. And I believe, what was it, $4 or $5 getting this thing was definitely worth it, to say the least. So yeah, that's it for the retail side for Xbox 360. Now for the digital, and that of course is Just Cause 2. I put a ton of hours into Just Cause 2 when I got it for PlayStation Plus on PlayStation 3, and even though I already put a ton of hours onto it and already beat the campaign, and what was it, 50 plus hour, 50% in completing the game on PlayStation 3. Just Cause 2, I can definitely say, is a big-ass open world with not much to do out of it, in the same vein as I say Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. But Just Cause 2 is really like open chaos as all hell. You can go through grappling the environment, using the physics to get through places, or you can use the vehicles to get to places. Chaos, destroying gas stations, destroying landmarks, stuff like that. Basically destroying a regime in some third world country. And yeah, Just Cause 2 is definitely worth it. It's basically cheap as all hell. You can find it through retail on PlayStation 3, the Xbox 360, and you can find it cheap through sales on Steam. So Just Cause 2 is definitely fun as all hell. Thief, or at least how many people like me call it, Thief, is the successor to the Thief games that basically a successor to the Thief games that were phenomenal stealth games on PC and on the original Xbox. But this iteration of Thief is basically watered down as all hell. Basically gives Deus Ex Human Revolution a run for its money in the way of it actually being better stealth game than what Thief is. And yeah, replacing the original voice actor for Garrett for this stage guy, or whatever the hell, a stage actor, really just default the story, and the story is not really much interesting compared to the previous Thief games. But yeah, you can find it cheap as hell for PS3, 360, and through sales on Steam. But to be quite frank, if you're someone on PC, just get the original games. Even the third one is much better than this version of Thief, I can say the least. Plants vs. Zombies, this is the Xbox 360 version of it. It's fun to play on the 360, but it's really counterintuitive compared to, let's say, playing it on your PC or on mobile devices. But Plants vs. Zombies is the same kind of fun that you got on PC and on mobile devices. It's fun as hell, but you kind of wish you would be playing something else, like Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare, for instance. And then goes for the Metro games that happened for, let's say, I got from August or so, which basically was mostly what Xbox 360 owners got, like Metro 2033 and Metro Last Light, which I'll be honest here, I did not play Metro Last Light. I played like Metro 2033, and Metro 2033 is kind of bad on the 360. I have it on PC thanks to Steam, and Metro 2033, it really is hard to play. It looks really bad on the 360. And I just can't get through it. I got through like maybe halfway through the campaign, and I just kind of stopped because it just looked bad. And it really wasn't intuitive, at least from what I played on the PC version. So if you have a PC and it can run well for Metro 2033, get that instead. So yeah, that's it for the Xbox 360 side of things. Now for the Wii U, and this is the only game that I've played tons of hours into it, and that is Guacamelee Super Turbo Championship Edition, which I think I might have already talked about when on the previous gaming pickup video on the PlayStation 4. But Guacamelee is kind of the Metroidvania Mexican version of it. You're basically playing this luchador, going through a bunch of areas in this Spanish kind of setting, and you really have to use your abilities that you earn throughout the campaign with these chosen like statues from Metroid, where you earn the abilities and you play this female. You can also like have versions of a male or a female you can play. I played the male one because it looked macho as fuck, stuff like that. But Guacamelee Super Turbo Championship Edition, that one I highly recommend compared to the original Guacamelee. It is on the Wii U, the PS4, the Xbox One, and on PC. I believe the last gen versions, or at least the Wii U, I think has the original Guacamelee on it, but I definitely recommend the Super Turbo Championship Edition because it has the DLC that the original version didn't and other extras. So I definitely recommend that. So yeah, that's it for the Wii U side of things. Now for the Nintendo 3DS. And this is the only 3DS retail game that I bought, which is basically used for $15 or so. And that, of course, is Project Cross Zone. Now, Project Cross Zone is like this Disgaea kind of strategy game, where basically it's like the ultimate crossover. You have like characters from Bandai Namco, Sega, and Capcom all together. So you can have characters like from Street Fighter, Tekken, and Virtua Fighter all together in the same kind of game. And this kind of convoluted storyline that really, when you play like 5 hours or so, you basically don't care for it, and you kind of just continue playing for the story, for the character interactions, like Frank West taking a picture of like the suggested villains of the game for their cleavages, which is very true of how he is in the Dead Rising games, and how in Dead Rising when you take a picture of certain sexual things, they kind of have like this pink circle out of it for erotica score out of it, which is really fun as all hell. And the strategy aspect is average for the type of game that it is. Like, if you play Disgaea, you basically know what you're getting yourself into for this kind of game. And yeah, you can find this for $15 on GameStop or so. And yeah, it's fun as hell. It can get repetitive as all hell, and I recommend playing it in short bursts and on long term. Because if you're playing this long term, you're gonna get burned by it, just like how I did. So yeah, $15 though, 3DS, definitely worth it. Especially if you love Capcom, Bandai Namco, and Sega characters, like from Virtua Fighter, stuff like that. So yeah, that's it for the game side. Now for the things that I got, the others. When I was in the Nintendo World event for E3, I basically had these extra goodies along with me. And that, of course, is 3 pins for the 30th anniversary Mario right over here. 3 of them. This Star Fox Zero pin, which, funny enough, I actually woke up early as all hell to go to Nintendo World, I believe the 3rd or 4th day of the event, just to get this pin alone, because this pin was fucking sweet. Everybody who went to the store really wanted this pin so much, and it really looks nice as all hell. To go along with this other thing that I got in Nintendo World was the Star Fox amiibo. This one was rare as all hell to find in the early days of the amiibo shortages, but this is a reissue, a reprint. It is a reprint that I got in Nintendo World, where it was basically they were having a sale on it, and yeah, I paid for $15 or $20 for the thing. And I still haven't opened it yet for some reason, and I don't know why, because I've opened the other rare amiibos like Little Mac and Captain Falcon. But yeah, I don't know, maybe when Star Fox Zero releases next year, I'll open the damn thing to see what kind of amiibo functionality they have. But hey, it looks nice with the Star Fox spin. I can definitely say that. And finally, another thing that I bought along with the Star Fox amiibo is this Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past comic. That is basically what Vince Media did in collaboration with Nintendo. Basically, these are stories that were from previous Nintendo Power issues that basically put in one in order to have the storyline. And it really, really looks nice in high quality paper compared to Nintendo issues back in the day. And it still has that nice new smell to it. And I think along with buying the book, I actually have the poster and a bookmark for it, calling the Master Sword. It's a very nice thing if you like the Legend of Zelda and A Link to the Past. And the poster along with it, which I might open it. And yeah, this is the poster itself, one of the panels from the comics itself. So yeah, that's about it. I hope the rambling and the streamline of the gaming pickup videos will be a good thing in the future. I hope you enjoyed this video and shout your impressions / reviews of the games I've talked about in this video right here. Like, favorite, subscribe. I hope you have a nice day.